Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome. I recently finished another collection from Echo Park. This one was Perfect Autumn, designed by Lori Whitlock. And it is obviously, Perfect Autumn is fall based. So I made some scrapbook pages along with some other projects that I just wanted to share with you real quick. Now I did bring in, there weren't a lot of, on the sticker sheet, there weren't a lot of like pumpkin stickers, and I did want some pumpkin stickers and embellishments on my pages. So I did bring in a few extra pumpkin stickers, but otherwise the rest of them are all Echo Park. I had the rub-ons from A Perfect Autumn, which I did use up. And then I did use a few bows from the Hello Fall. And I did use, I think, a rub-on or two from the Hello Fall rub-on collection as well. So these are from 2014, and if you know me, you know I tend to make 3 layouts, one for me and then one for each of my daughters. And so this first one is my layout, and it's a 2-page layout. So on the first page, I just brought in, I used it's the same paper, the pumpkins on one side, and I believe that brown plaid on the other, and just kind of created a couple strips up here, brought in another pattern strip at the bottom, and then just peppered in, this was actually the back side of one of the cut-aparts that I wasn't going to be using. This was a sticker that I did bring in from my stash, as well as these pumpkins down here. But the rest of the items were from the collection, either the rub-ons or stickers. And then the second page, I brought in one of the big journal cards as my title, and then it just layered in some more stickers and rub-ons as embellishments. Oh, and I had a scrap of this yellow, like a triangular scrap of this yellow gingham piece, so I just popped one up here under that photo and one over here under that photo to kind of tie both sides together and to use up that scrap. So this is one of my daughter's layouts. This time I used a sticker as my title, and I did bring in this strip down here, which is from my stash, and was just trying to get it used up. It's been around a while. So I have one of the border stickers down here at the bottom, and then layered on this long tag here, and then just used some of the stickers, smaller stickers from the sticker sheet to pepper around my photos. And on this one I did use one of the more solid colored pattern papers just as a simple background. And same with this one, I went with the orange. Here I'm using the fall and then pumpkin patch kind of as my title and description of the page. Brought in another one of the border stickers down here at the bottom. These two, this pumpkin sticker and this one, are dimensional stickers that were from my stash, but then everything else came from the rub-ons or sticker sheet. So 3 layouts, 4 pages. And then I had picked up this wooden leaf block, I think from Target last year, after fall, I think, on clearance, and it's nice and solid, and so I painted it up with some chalk paint, brown chalk paint, and then just used some of the paper. I put my leaf down, traced out the shape, cut out the paper, and I did do it double-sided so that if it sits on the sofa, the table behind my sofa, which you can see from the kitchen and the living room, then you can get color from both sides. So that's just a fall decoration that I made. And then because I had made, for our craft shows, I had made Halloween packets that had one was a pumpkin spice themed, one was cinnamon spice themed. I have a few of those left, and so I wanted to transfer the goodies from the Halloween packets to the fall packets, because our next craft show isn't until the very beginning of November, so Halloween will be over. So I just used the same format, the same concept on this little diaper pocket fold, and with a with the gusset. I just did the same thing, but with the fall paper, and it's nice because this was double-sided. I didn't have to make it double-sided. And then just went through and embellished with some of the, either the cutouts or stickers or die cuts, whatever, from the collection. So this one, I used 3 of the rub-ons. There's the fox, the log, and the I Love Fall banner. Just put that on some white cardstock. This one I used it was a journal card, and I just cut out the circle with the fall blessings and then peppered in some of the little flower stickers. This was a journal card that I fussy cut out the little decorative label part of and added another scrap strip behind it, and then brought in some of the leaf stickers. Same thing with this one. I fussy cut out this from the journal card, and it did have 2 little acorns here, and so I just covered them with the acorn stickers. So I got 4 of those. And then I thought I was almost done and didn't have that much paper left, but as I was kind of going through my layouts, I discovered 2 more full sheets of paper, pattern paper, underneath my layout. So I had more left than I thought. But I did make some cards, and I did not use sketches for this one. I was really just, some of them probably resemble sketches that I've seen in the past, so some of the layouts may look familiar as a sketch to you. But I didn't pull out any sketches. I was just kind of using what I had and what would use up the paper fairly quickly. These patterns, actually there were 3 patterns, 2 full sheets and then a partial sheet. So this red tone-on-tone polka dot and the fox were the 2 full sheets that I had. So these I was trying to, since I was almost done and didn't have many embellishments left at this point, I was trying to figure out how I could use them quickly. Like, you know, what layouts could use, you know, a good amount of paper on each card. So anyway, and I also had some of that plaid left. So I cut down the fox to like a journal card size, 3x4. In different cases, depending on how much paper I had left, I either cut that plaid paper like 3.5 by 4.5, or I just did it as a 3x4 journal card size as well, and you'll see that on the next one. But then I just used that red dot paper as a mat, so I cut it down to 4 by 5.25, so I got 6 card mats out of that last 12 by 12 sheet. And then I brought in strips that I had left to kind of go behind, and then whatever I could find to embellish. Like I even tapped into, like I cut into the cover sheet for some embellishments, and like this strip here and this thankful were both cut out of the cover sheet. This is one where both of these 2 papers were cut down to 3x4, and I just offset the plaid in the background to give it a little bit of contrast, and then I did 2 little strips behind it here, and then just a sentiment that I stamped on this one. This one I brought in, this is one of the rub-ons, Grateful Heart, and I just put it on a little scrap of the orange that I had left. And I did bring in some white vinyl circles to embellish on this one. This Thankful was a rub-on, just put it on some white cardstock. This was a strip that I cut from the cover sheet. This was a rub-on that I just put on a white circle, brought in a scrap of that yellow gingham and actually had to piece it together behind there. And this yellow gingham was actually cut from the cover sheet, you know, where it gives you, these strips were cut from where it kind of gives you the preview of the different patterns. This I fussy cut from the cover sheet, pieced together 2 more little pieces, or 1 more little piece that I cut apart to go behind that, and this yellow gingham actually was a scrap that I had. This one I just used 2 cut aparts, 2 of the journal card cut aparts, and again I took one and kind of turned it backwards so that the brown side was showing, and kind of offset it behind this journal card to give it a little bit of a frame. So that one was fairly simple. Here I was using up stickers, and so I made a little scene, Hello Fall, the raccoon and the log, the 2 mushrooms, the leaf, the acorn, those are all stickers. And then I brought in some of the rub-ons, the leaf rub-ons, to look as if the leaves were falling from the tree onto his little area there. This one I took, so the yellow gingham is my background, and then this striped piece I added, this was another border sticker, and it was kind of like a scalloped, and so I kind of put it down here, like just almost to ground it, act as like, you know, ground level. And then it brought in, this tree was a sticker, and so brought it in because it kind of matched that yellow gingham, and then Thankful was a sticker. This time, this one is a sticker, and then I layered it onto this little floral wreath-like sticker, and brought in a little strip of the wood grain that I had going behind here because it tied in with the Thankful, and then brought that in to kind of balance it out down here, and then just added a little flower. So on all of these, I used patterned paper as a card mat. Like, I never brought in cardstock on this one. This was a rare challenge for me. And because the thing is, I didn't need a ton of fall cards. Like, I've already got a bunch, and I know I have some more in the works. So my focus on this one wasn't really to make a whole bunch of fall cards. It was just to kind of use up that pretty paper. And all of my cards are A2, and I did use white card bases for all of them. And the insides do have strips or pieces of scraps. So here was a journal card, and this mat is actually 3 pieces pieced together. The stripe and the wood grain, and then I brought in one of the little strips from the bottom of the page that shows what was on the back side. I brought that in to kind of cover the seam and add a pop of color there. And then I didn't like the wood grain on the wood grain, and so I brought in another small scrap that I had just to kind of separate it on that end. And then I decorated up the journal card with some white vinyl, dots, and then a couple of flower stickers. This was a journal card, and I just added the Grateful for You sticker on it, and then just did a couple of layers behind it. This was a journal card, which is funny because it's dark, so you would have had to write on it with white, I guess. But I think it's actually was meant to go like horizontal this way, but I turned it this way, so now the acorn's sideways, but I don't think it matters. For some reason that doesn't bother me, but there are other weird quirky things that would bother me. So, but this one didn't. So anyway, I brought in the owl and the So Thankful for You banner, turned it into a little, you know, sentiment journal card. I had a scrap of that plaid left from, you know, where I had cut around my leaf. So I popped it up here, and again, pieced 2 different pattern papers together and covered that seam with some more of that scalloped brown plaid border sticker. This one was journal card, just added a strip down here at the bottom. This was a sticker, and then I cut these little flowers out of the cover sheet just to kind of balance and bring the colors through. Here's another little scene I made. I used the 2 stickers. The big ones are stickers. Autumn was a rub-on. I brought in some brown cardstock just to act as kind of the ground on this one. And then behind the bear and the fox, I have there's a leaf rub-on, a mushroom rub-on, and then these little leaf flower rub-ons over here. I used one of my my favorite things cover dies, and I will link it below. And just use some of the scrap pieces I had to get to the little squares and the strip here. This was rub-on that I just put on a white die cut circle and then stamped Happy Fall, and then balanced it out with some little vinyl circle dots. This one was using all of the little strips from the bottom of the page, and this is the one card, I guess, where I did bring in cardstock, so I lied. I did use it on one as a card mat, just to give, I didn't want to put these strips directly on my white card base, so I just added them on here. And then this is a rub-on that I put onto another die cut white circle, brought in some leaves that I die cut from some of my scrap cardstock and pattern papers, added my sentiment up here, and then peppered in some brown vinyl dots. This one, I pieced 2 pieces of pattern paper together, covered up the seam with this scrap. The squirrel is another rub-on. on a white die cut circle. These little orange dots were punched out of some scraps that I had, and then brought in 2 more rub-ons. Down here it says, "So thankful for you." This one I cut out the jar from a journal card and then added this Follows in the Air sticker. And again, these were 2 different pieces of the same pattern paper that I pieced together and covered it up with the turquoise there. And then I had die cut a little gourd out of a scrap of the yellow plaid, so I just added it down there at the bottom. This one I pieced together 2 pattern papers, covered it up with one of the tear strips from the bottom of the 12 by 12 pages, added my sticker onto a dark red cardstock oval just to kind of help it stand out a little bit from the lighter background of the papers. And then again, I had 1 leaf sticker left, so I added in one of my die cut leaves that I had cut from scraps, and then added another little rub-on down here. And then my final card, I had these strips left, so I just decided to kind of layer them on there kind of whimsically, not in any kind of straight fashion, and then tie the whole card together with the strip of the plaid. I had this raccoon rub-on that I had lost a little bit of its tail from, and so I covered it. I just added this flower arrangement on his tail, kind of, so now you'll never know that he's missing a little chunk out of his tail. And then added my sentiment, brought in some leaf from my stash, and then one of the little die cuts I had cut from scraps from this collection, and some, actually I think I punched these out of a scrap from the cover sheet. So I got the 4 12 by 12 pages, my decorative block, 4 of these little pockets, and then I got 21 cards. So it was a quick collection to work through, really fun. I mean, I love all of Echo Park's or Cartabella's, their collections. They're just amazing and so easy to work with. So I feel like I worked through this fairly quickly and got some more pages done to meet my scrapbooking goal for this year, and also got some other goodies out of it. So if you have this collection, because I believe mine did come in a warehouse box sometime in the last few years. So if you have this collection, hopefully you got some inspiration on how you might be able to use it. I thank you guys so very much for your time today. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you joined me. I do have tons of collections and paper pads to still work through in my stash, more than I could probably ever get through in my lifetime. But I do plan on working through them as quickly as possible to bring you some ideas and inspiration on using up some of that paper that's in your stash. So if you like this type of video, please also give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate your support. Liking, subscribing, commenting, those are all free ways that you can help support my channel and allow me to bring more content like this to you. But thank you guys again. I hope you all have a very crafty day.